just gonna dig right in this. Happy Valentine's Day, Grand Rising. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day today and amazing Sunday, an amazing Valentine's Day. So the sacred geometry that showed up for today's spread is the divine doorway. The divine doorway actually showed up in reverse, but what this actually talks about is the communing deeply with self in order to ascend. And so the lotus flowers, they always represent that ascension process, coming into the crowning experience of transcendence. And so the divine doorway is creating the portal to your higher self, a portal into your ascension, your transcendence. And so this actually showed up in the reverse. So showing up in the reverse, it's saying you are blocked from communing with your higher self. And so remember, this is for the collective today. This is not a long-term process. This is for today. And so your challenge for today is to not be blocked into your connection with higher self, to really be aware of your authentic true self. And so being the day of love, right? The day of Valentine's, the day of lovers and giving and receiving, we do tend to relinquish our true selves. And I'll be the first one to call myself out in these instances. I am very aware of when my ego shows up, and 99% of the time it doesn't exist and it's not there. But I do realize, especially in communion with a man, it tends to show up. So I know that to be true for everyone. So be really aware of the ego wanting to creep in relationship. 1, out of trauma response. 2, out of wanting to be lovable, wanting to be worthy. And so just be aware of that, keeping that divine doorway open. Don't block it. And ego is what blocks it. So be very aware. Remember, ego is what wants to judge something, or the need to defend itself, or taking you time traveling to the past or future. So when you are your authentic self, you can just be in that deep surrender and receiving. And so that's your challenge today. Be that. And so the spiral also showed up in reverse today. And I like the double 5, the 5 of the divine doorway, and then the 50 from, the 5 from the 50 of the spiral. And so this showing up in reverse, it actually is calling you to go deeply within yourself and to rebirth yourself. So be hyper aware of what your true self feels like today. And see if you can just marinate in that. Go deeply into the depths of you, the real you today, and embody your authentic self today. And really feel all the feels of today and be honest with yourself. A lot of you are going to be really hyper aware that maybe something is not a good fit, or deeply aware of changes that you need to make. And so I always said, every time the spiral comes up, that I will share it no matter what. And so the spiral showing up, I'm sharing the story of this beautiful gift from a lovely friend, Doug. And so Doug actually brought this back for me from the heart of Yarmany. And so I really invite you to look up Yarmany. It's a mountain range, but the heart of Yarmany is a very remote space in that mountain range, and it is not visited. He had to bushwhack his way into the heart of Yarmany, braving mountain lions, actually witnessing fresh kills. And he slept there under the stars with his firearm on his chest and with these beautiful seashells scattered on the ground. He thought, I'll bring this back for Sherry. And so, it's millions of years old. Now, where did it slide to? Dang it. Oh, here. Thinking of me in that space brought back this millions of years old shell as a gift. And so I always said that this shell will be my new standard, that I deserve that level of reverence. And that's this shell. And so the spiral is asking you to go into those depths. And maybe even that story will be key for you too. Like, if you were to brave mountain lions and bushwhack your way into the heart of Yarmany, what would be your thought? And would you even think of anyone outside yourself? Or think of everyone outside yourself? And so remember, those first two cards are always the energy of the day, and then this is your tool. I do not own rhodochrosite, so this is a picture of the stone, but it talks about inner child. And I have rhodonite, but not rhodochrosite. And so the energy of the inner child is why we go into ego in relationship. And so today, being the day of love, really be aware of your predisposition to want to remain lovable. So maybe you're holding your partner captive to deceitful stories or a version of you that's not even your authentic you, because you're afraid if you share deeper parts of yourself, that which is the story of the spiral in reverse, right? Going into the deepest depths of yourself to rebirth yourself. Will you still be lovable? And a lot of times that's stories that we tell ourselves, well, the stories that the ego wants to portray. And so really be aware of those dynamics playing out for you today. Do I feel lovable? And do I actually show all the facets of me? And can I stay lovable in those experiences? And do I receive the deep reverence that I deserve? Because really, there's a perfect recipe for love. It's only 3 things: appreciation, affection, and attention. Those are the most valuable commodities in a relationship. And are you receiving as well as giving those things in equal exchange and frequency? So be aware of that playing out. And so the diamond tiger of the black moon showed up. And I love this because we are in a new moon cycle, which is considered the dark moon, right? And so second chances bring success. What this actually talks about, refers to, is the spiritual path. So being in that deep communion with self, which is the message of these 2 first cards, it's saying you may have missed the opportunity to be in deep communion with self and really have that awareness of your authentic true self. And you may have missed it, but now you are going to get a really deep glimpse of your authentic self to help move you and propel you along your spiritual path. This is not the human inception. This is your spiritual path. This is the real reason why you're here. And so you will be afforded that gift today. So really be aware. If you can stay in that awareness and see what your blocks are in connection with your true self, which I said is always ego. but see what is blocking you. If you connect with rhodochrosite, it will become very, very obvious what your blocks are. And it could be past emotion or trauma, or some deep hurt or pain that's actually creating that wedge. So that's the spread for today, and happy Valentine's Day, and I send you love. I love you all. I love you. And I am sorry for any discord that I have created as source. Please forgive me. And thank you for the opportunity to right that wrong and bring it back to zero. I love you.